The silent auction will be closing at 7:15 to your immediate left as you come to the door. Hold on to your door tickets.
Good to see you. Good to see you. Appreciate it. Yes, sir.
I got my drone, Jay.
Good to see you.
I'm grabbing some. Mayor Ken, we're live. We're live. Talk to the people. Talk to the people and tell them why we're here and what we're doing.
Welcome to this event. Right here, this is going to keep us apart for my re-election. Thank you for dialing in. We've got some great speakers tonight. We've got the governor speaking. Governor Tate Reeves. We've got our sheriff speaking. Thomas Tuggle. And Alice speaking. Thank y'all for dialing in.
I said that either I got to dedicate the time.
First starter.
I'm not going to get in your way.
Let me get you water. Are you good?
Yeah, we went live like 2 minutes ago. I'm running out of people.
Well, I told him he was ready because he said he's going to do research, so I got his mic hot right now.
Cool.
So he's ready. He's ready.
Okay. Yeah, man. I know. I've been around you a bunch. I know your smile.
I've been around a long time. I've been DJing for a long time. So I've been around entertainment. We have a lot of what's different folks. Good to see you. We're just getting started.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being with us tonight. Certainly appreciate you being here, taking time out of your schedule. It's great to see a number of people that are concerned about their community, their state, and have a passion for that. And I just personally thank you very much for being here tonight. Agenda will be tonight, invocation by Pastor Michael Carpenter in a moment, pledge of allegiance by U.S. Marine Corps retired Henry Wilson. First speaker is our Governor Tate Reeves. Second speaker is Sheriff Thomas Tuggle. Third speaker is Alice Marie Johnson. And then I'll follow up as the final speaker, and we'll call it a night. So again, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it and hope you have a great evening. At this time, Pastor Michael Carpenter, would you come lead our invocation, followed by Henry Wilson to lead our pledge of allegiance.
All right, let us pray. Father, I just thank you so much for tonight. I thank you so much for an opportunity to hear from these great people. Lord, I pray that everything that's said and done tonight will glorify and honor you. Thank you so much for a mayor like Mr. Ken Adams, Father, who loves the city and leads well. And I thank you so much for who he is, what he represents, and all the many ways that he serves. Lord, I pray that you would bless our time tonight. Pray with this food and those that have prepared it. Lord, I pray that you would be in everything that's said and done in this room tonight. And it's in your name we pray. Amen. Amen.
Y'all saying please. We all going to say the pledge of allegiance. You better read it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank y'all for your service.
Thank you, Mr. Henry Wilson. I know we have a number of elected officials tonight besides myself and the governor with us and the sheriff with us. I know there's others. If you would raise your hand so we can recognize you. I know there's a number. Thank you so much for your service, but please raise your hand or stand if you're seated so we can recognize you. Thank you. Our first speaker tonight is Honorable Governor Tate Reeves. Governor Reeves is the 65th governor of the state of Mississippi. He's the only person in the history of the state to have served 2 terms as treasurer, 2 terms as lieutenant governor, and now he's on the 2nd term as governor. Some nights I wake up and I'm concerned and I worry about 50,000 citizens and 18,000 some odd homes and get up and check on what's going on, check the police scanner, check the social media, unfortunately. Sometimes it's true, sometimes not. But when I think about that and think about the scope of Olive Branch, and I can't imagine the governor's worries that he has, almost 3 million people in the state, 82 counties, 299 cities, so he has quite a bit of responsibility, and I appreciate him shouldering that and appreciate the things he does for our state. I'd like to thank Governor Reeves for his service. He's been supportive of me, the city of Olive Branch, and DeSoto County. Please join me in welcoming up Governor Tate Reeves.
Thank y'all, and thanks, Mayor, for giving me the opportunity to be here with you. I will tell you, as we kick off the reelection campaign for Mayor Ken Adams,
I just think it's appropriate for me to mention the fact that y'all have proven yet again that here in DeSoto County, here in Olive Branch, and here in the great state of Mississippi, that we begin our meetings in a certain way. Now, they may not do this all over the country, but in Mississippi, we begin our meetings by pledging allegiance to that flag and by praying to an almighty God. I will tell you, I've been to a lot of political events in my life. I've been to a lot of events like this, kicking off campaigns or raising money for campaigns. And I got to tell you, Mayor, when I walked through that door about 5 o'clock and I looked at the size of this room, I thought, oh my goodness, we got a mighty big room here. And then look, people kept coming in, and people kept coming in, and people kept coming in, and you have filled up this very large room. And in today's world of politics, that's hard to do. I will tell you, I believe that is a testament to the job you have done. It is not only a testament to the job you have done, it is a testament to the way in which you have done it. You have done it in a way that certainly people respect you and people appreciate you, and I know that I certainly fit into that category. I think we can all agree that Mayor Adams has been a fantastic leader for this community. And all you got to do is look at what's happened in this community over the last several years. Incredible growth, becoming one of Mississippi's leading cities. With 50,000 people, now Olive Branch is one of the largest cities in our state. And in terms of sheer geographic size, and certainly the sheriff understands this, when the larger the geographic size, the more you got to focus on supporting your law enforcement, and the mayor does that every single day. The fact of the matter is, in terms of just geographic size, Olive Branch is the second largest city in the entire state of Mississippi. With a growing population, it's no surprise that this community consistently ranks among the top cities in our state that people and businesses want to relocate to. And that's something we can all be proud of. Because look, the reality is, there's a lot of people bragging about this or bragging about that in politics, but here's what we know. Folks vote with their feet. And it's no secret that Mississippians have proudly voting for Olive Branch and DeSoto County as they continue to move themselves and their families and their businesses into this community in ways. A lot of times folks like to say that all of this success just happened. But what we all know is it didn't just happen. We all know this growth of this community in a smart way is no accident. Your mayor, your board of aldermen, your city has managed your finances well and have kept your taxes low. I think every homeowner in this community can appreciate that. And in politics today, it's easy to find politicians who like to go on social media and talk. It's easy to find politicians that like to go on the radio and talk. It's easy to find politicians that like to go on the TV and talk. But there ain't that many politicians left that actually will walk the walk, not just talk the talk. And honestly, it's just really sometimes being good at your job isn't all that complicated. It's really just knowing that your citizens, your constituents, want to see well-paved roads. They want to see safe streets. They want to see vibrant communities. It's the basic and the fundamental responsibilities of local government. And I can tell you with certainty, under Mayor Adams' leadership, that's exactly what's happening here in Olive Branch. Thanks to your leadership, Mayor, Olive Branch has emerged as a model for our entire state on how to effectively run a community that continues to grow, one that continues to thrive, and one that continues to succeed. The fact is, when your team is playing well and you keep scoring touchdowns, you want to make sure you keep that coach around. And the same can be said of municipal government. We need to make sure that Mayor Adams is reelected. We need to make sure that he gets the opportunity to keep delivering for Olive Branch. I'm going to tell you that I've had the pleasure of serving this great state as governor now for 4.5 years. I'm incredibly proud of the success that we've had in our state. I'm proud of the fact that our overall educational system has gone from 50th to 30th overall in the last 10 years. I'm proud of the fact that our 4th grade reading results have gone from 49th in the nation to 21st in the nation. I'm proud of the fact that our 4th grade math results have gone from 50th, dead last, over the last 10 years, to last year we were ranked 23rd in the nation. And I am proud of the fact that that success is not just happening with some of our students, it's happening with all of our students. If you look at African American performance amongst 4th graders in 4th grade reading, 10 years ago, when compared to their peers around the country, our black 4th graders scored 45th best in America. Last year, they scored 5th best in America. And the reality is, that's not just happenstance. It didn't just happen. Just like the election for governor matters, this election for mayor matters. Leadership matters. Elections have consequences. And what I'm here to tell you is when you chose to elect this man to be mayor, I think you made a wise choice. Now, I will tell you, I've been around a long time. In fact, some of my opponents think I've been around too long. In fact, when the mayor asked me if I'd do this, I said, "No, Mayor, I want to be clear with you. I want you to win, so I'll be for you or against you, whichever one helps you the most." Fortunately, he didn't hesitate. But I will tell you that I'm so proud to stand here as one of this man's biggest supporters. The people that are on this stage are here because they know that Mayor Ken Adams is a dad, a grandfather, a Christian, and a good man.
Yes, he is.
Amen. For all these reasons, I hope you'll join me supporting Mayor Adams for re-election. And if you live in this great municipality, I hope you'll be sure and get out and vote to re-elect Mayor Ken Adams.
Thank you, Governor Reeves. And we know he has 3 appointments today, and I appreciate you being here. The only question I have is about the time you landed, Governor, we got an air quality bulletin that came through. I don't know if you brought that air from Jackson. We'll take the air, but we're not going to take the water. We'll take the air, though. But thank you so much, Governor, for being with us. Our next speaker tonight is a longtime friend of mine, Sheriff Thomas Tuggle. Sheriff Tuggle is the Chief Law Enforcement Officer, or Chief Law Enforcement Executive of DeSoto County. As we're approaching 200,000 residents, he retired as Lieutenant Colonel with Mississippi Highway Patrol and served as the Director of the state's Law Enforcement Training Academy. He is a leader of leaders, in my opinion. He's taken highly trained law enforcement professionals that are already at an exceptional level, and he's moving them to an extraordinary level. He does that every day. He accepts no less of himself, and therefore demands the same with his team members. We first crossed the paths, Sheriff Tuggle, around 1996. He was a trooper in DeSoto County, and I was a Justice Court judge, and I'll summarize how I knew the type quality person that, at that time, Trooper Tuggle was. He would come in with his tickets, a lot of misdemeanor cases. I'd swear him in, he'd stand at attention, and then he'd present his case, And after he got through, if there wasn't any questions or a lawyer on the other side, he would say, "Judge, may I be dismissed?" And I said, "Yes, sir, you can be dismissed." And what that was telling me, he knew he had done his job. He didn't care what the other side said. He didn't care how I ruled. He had done his job 100% of his ability and done it right, followed the law. He didn't care about the outcome. So that proves his character and integrity to me, and I went through that many years with him. I'm thankful to call him a friend, and I'm thankful for having served with him. And I wish you now would welcome up Sheriff Tuggle.
It's always good to be in, I consider home. I've got to thank the governor. He really did a great job for us this year, law enforcement, and also our DeSoto County delegation. If you're part of that DeSoto County delegation that was recently elected and you served, can you please stand, because you guys represented law enforcement. We've got several of you. Thank you so much. Well, good evening, esteemed members of the Olive Branch community. I am honored to address you this evening to recognize an individual who has devoted his life to serving this community with exceptional leadership, courage, and justice. The 3 B's are in effect. I'm going to be brief, I'm going to be concise, and I'm going to be gone. I am here to speak about our esteemed colleague, neighbor, incumbent Mayor Ken Adams, who is seeking re-election. My association with Ken Adams commenced many years ago during his tenure as a Justice Court judge. Our paths intersected unexpectedly, yet significantly, during that time. I distinctly recall our initial encounter. As I attentively observed the courtroom proceedings, Ken made his entrance. His presence displayed a distinct air of calm authority, bringing a respectful hush as he convened. It was immediately evident that here was a man who commanded respect, not through force, but through equity and wisdom. In those early days, I witnessed firsthand his approach to each case with an open mind and a compassionate heart. He carefully listened to all who appeared before him, ensuring that justice was not merely an abstract concept, but a tangible reality. His decisions were not mere judicial rulings, but lessons of empathy, fairness, and comprehension. Ken understood that the law is not solely a tool for authority, but a basis for community and equity. His transition from the courtroom to the position of mayor occurred seamlessly, representing a natural progression for an individual who had already become a model of justice in our community. However, Ken's narrative doesn't conclude here. Only some of you may be aware that before dedicating himself to public service, Ken played a pivotal role in shaping the future of one of the world's leading logistic companies, Federal Express. At FedEx, Ken wasn't just a leader. He assumed the roles of mentor, visionary, and team builder. I had the privilege of closely collaborating with him during this period. And it was then that I truly comprehended the depth of his leadership. He invited me to teach his team leadership skills to encourage professional growth. As mayor, Ken has brought that same commitment, vision, and compassion to Olive Branch. He has worked tirelessly to improve the city, focusing on sustainable development, enhancing public services, and ensuring the safety and well-being of every resident. Ken's leadership during adversity, whether natural disasters or economic challenges, have been exemplary. He has always been the first to arrive and the last to lead, showing a steadfast dedication to the community. What sets Ken apart is his unwavering belief in the potential of our community. He sees the best in each of us and works tirelessly to create opportunities for all. His policies are not just about progress, but inclusive progress. He understands the strength of Olive Branch lies in the people, and he is committed to ensuring that everyone has a path to success. Ken is the core of the 14 leadership traits. He represented justice, judgment, decisiveness, and integrity as a judge. As a FedEx executive, he represented dependability, tact, initiative, endurance, and daring. He represented unselfishness, courage, knowledge, and loyalty as a mayor. He also represented enthusiasm by having his Ken Adams special pizza. It doesn't get any more enthusiastic than that. And electing Ken for a consecutive term as mayor of Olive Branch, we're not merely choosing a leader, we're electing a future that is bright, inclusive, and full of promise. Let us unite in supporting an individual who has consistently been there for us, believe in the power of community, and personifies the very spirit of Olive Branch. Lastly, I want to ask everyone to close your eyes. Everyone close your eyes. Your life has just ended. You have been granted an opportunity to return as any influential person, past or present. I'm going to give you 20 seconds to reflect. You have an opportunity to come back as any influential person, past or present. Who would you select? Okay, go ahead and open your eyes. I normally ask you who you select, but I'm not going to ask you if you selected Mayor Adams, because if you did not pick him this evening, you can choose him to return as mayor of this great city next year. Thank you, I love you, and God bless America.
Thank you, Sheriff Tuggle. Our next speaker on the platform to come up to the podium is a friend of mine, and I didn't quite know she was as good of a friend as she's became over the last 3+ years, but Miss Alice Marie Johnson is a friend with an awesome heart. She's a product of Olive Branch, one of 9 children. Her dad and mother, Mr. Raymond and Miss Sally Mae Bogan, were Grand Marshals of the Olive Branch Chamber Parade in 1993. I didn't get a chance to meet Mr. Raymond, but I met Miss Sally Mae, and you wouldn't find any better people around than Miss Sally Mae Bogan. Wonderful lady, wonderful heart. It doesn't take long to realize that trickled down to Alice. Media personality Kim Kardashian helped persuade then President Donald Trump to pardon Alice from her life sentence. If you have not read her book, After Life, My Journey from Incarceration to Freedom, I highly recommend it. But I'm not going to loan you mine because mine's autographed and I want to keep it because it's special. It is special. Alice speaks nationally and internationally on criminal justice reform and improving communities, but especially she has a heart for the youth and the youth of our community. Join me in welcoming up Alice Marie Johnson.
Thank you so much, Ken. I'm looking out tonight, and I see so many faces, so many names that I recognize, and so many friends and family members who come out tonight to support Ken Adams, a man for the people. He talked about my speaking all over this nation. I literally have spoken all over the nation. I spoke at the RNC in 2020. I was the first Super Bowl commercial, political Super Bowl commercial. I was featured in that. I've received many, many honors over the time since I've come home from serving a life sentence. But one of the greatest honors is to be back home with family and friends and to really be in a community that really cares about each other. That was the thing that drew me here. As I went to vote, I had an opportunity to come in just as Ken was coming in. I don't think I've ever seen so many people ask for that ballot who were not of that party because they supported this man. That speaks for itself. Yes, it does. My journey has been, as he talked about my book, Afterlife, it truly is a resurrection story, a miraculous story. I'm a woman who's Mississippi born and bred. I'm a proud person who has the zip code of 38654. The thing about my journey is that I was able to survive that. I was able to go into a very dark place. In Mississippi, we've experienced some dark times in our history. We cannot forget that. But that shaped me. Living in a household with parents, especially a mother, both my parents really, but my mother, I saw her walk it out. I see one of our neighbors here. Where are you at, Mr. Wallace? Back in the back. His mother and my mother were like this. We lived on Sanders Road. That's where I grew up. I would hear them talk. They visit each other. My mother was one who taught us the value of looking past anything, any label that a person would put on another person, whether you were black, whether you were white, it didn't matter. My mother embraced everyone, and that was a foundation that I took with me when the tragedy happened to me, and I was offered a very, very low sentence. Never sold drugs, used drugs, but found myself, you have to read my book, because of conspiracy, being caught up in something that was very foreign to me. And first, no time, then 3 years, and I exercised my constitutional right to go to trial. And after 6 weeks, I was found guilty of attempted not even possession and sentenced to life plus 25 years. Had it not been for faith, I could not have made it. Had it not been for the example that I had seen walked out before me, had it not been for where I grew up in Olive Branch. You see, my class was known as the one that conquered diversity. We helped create the name Conquistadors because we're in such a pivotal time in history that it could have gone anyway. It could have been disastrous for this town. But we came together, black, white, every Hispanic, we came together and said, we are going to conquer this. We're living here, we care about each other, and we are now, this is where we're at. And we have got to live together, and we have got to learn together. Those lessons that I learned right here in Olive Branch, Mississippi, gave me the courage to be in a dark place and find out not what I have been labeled as. My character, my integrity could not be taken away from me because it had been ingrained in me. But most of all, it was faith that kept me going. They said that I did incredible things while I was in prison. I became a playwright. People had to get tickets to come in and see the plays that I wrote. I did many things in prison that they called extraordinary. But actually, I was just being me. I was just living life. And I was trying to impact my environment the best way that I could for good. Because, see, that's what we do in Olive Branch. We come together and we try to see the good in all people. We don't go by what your title is, by what your skin color is. We look at the heart. I took that lesson with me. And as I met other incarcerated women, I never asked one, why are you here? When I met them, it was a blank page for me. It was, this is another human being, and we're here together. What can I do to serve you? What can I do to help you? And I found that by treating people as people and recognizing the things that we are more alike than we are separated. Some people get lifted up in pride and say, well, I'm not one of them. I don't do that. But we all have that connection. We all love and want the best for our communities. We all want the best, even our prison community. We want the best. We want to be the best person we can be for our families. Even when we made mistakes, we still desire that. And that is what took me through those almost 22 years away from my family. And it truly was a miraculous delivery. The odds of myself catching the attention of someone like Kim Kardashian. But you see, the Lord was in that plan the whole time because he had something greater for me to do that was bigger than myself. You see, I don't make any mistakes and think that it was about me just coming home. It was about the people whose lives I literally carried in my belly, who needed their freedom also. while there, no matter where we are, we can still do good. And while in prison, I was allowed to speak at Yale University, the University of Washington in Seattle, New York University, Honors College. I spoke at Google and YouTube events as a prisoner. Because as the word says, your gift will make room for you and take you before great people, before kings. And I literally have sat next to kings since I came home. But that was the beginning. That was my genesis. But my really genesis was right here in Olive Branch, Mississippi. It was what I learned here that carried me through that. Catching her attention and being on those platforms. I wrote a video op-ed that went viral, and I said this, and you may be tired of hearing it, but it's the truth. I didn't even know what viral meant. I thought I had introduced a virus into the internet. Because at the time that I went in, there was no internet. When it caught the attention of Kim Kardashian, she tweeted out, "This is so unfair." Then she contacted Ivanka Trump, Jerry Kushner, and we're still very good friends to this day. And they went to work and got new attorneys, and they labeled themselves Team Alice, a Mississippi girl. Have these people fighting for me. After 7 months, they finally got an audience with President Trump. 7 days later, completion again. The world watched as I ran across that road into the arms of my family. And they said that moment in history, even today, my family just shared something with me recently. Associated Press talked about great things that happened on June 6th. And in the history books now, June 6th is the day Alice Marie Johnson was released from prison. And the nation was together. And a nation was united. And all of a sudden, those who had been fighting and we could not get anything passed, came together to unanimously pass the most critical, most important criminal justice reform in 30 years. And President Trump asked at his press, you can go back and look at this, at his press conference. He said they asked for rehabilitation, but I'm asking for sentencing reform because I don't want there to be another Alice Johnson. They call me the face of criminal justice reform. I don't say that lifted up because I know that it was God. If we can come together and do things that can impact people's lives like that, so far over 30,000 people have come home early because I went in. God can use who he wants to use. We have to get away from even political lines. We have to cross everything. And that's what I was just sharing with someone. We here in Olive Branch, we vote for the candidate. We vote for the best person for the job. And what I have seen in Ken Adams has convinced me that this man right here is the best person for the job. I normally get paid a whole lot of money to go and speak. I'm not getting paid anything. I'm here tonight because I fully support Ken Adams. I've seen what he's done for this community. And I know that for us to choose anyone other than Ken Adams to continue, let him finish the work he started. You don't want to have to do anything. So I thank you so much for allowing me to speak to you today. I'm very humbled to be up here and very proud to be up here as I go around the country. And I have to tell you this one last thing. I went to Tokyo last year. The funny thing was, these were dignitaries' wives, and they were in a chatter, and I'm wondering, have I done something wrong? They touched me on the back, and one said, "Are you Alice Johnson?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, I told you, I saw you on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You know the story." So I'm telling you, as a Mississippi woman, Olive Branch bred, a product of this great city, I stand before you proudly tonight, asking you, imploring you to continue to cast your vote for the best man for the job, Ken Adams.
Thank you, Alice. When she got to the part about the high-paid salary, I started thinking, did I sign a contract? But no, I thank my friend Alice. And what better example of an olive branch that our city represents? It'd be easy to be angry, it'd be easy to be a lot of things, but she reached out with love and compassion, and I thank you for that, Alice. It doesn't quite seem possible that 3 years of a 4-year term is already up. Yes, I'm starting a little bit early. I kind of sort of like to do that. I want to get a good head start. But I have truly enjoyed serving the residents and the business leaders of Olive Branch. I'm thankful to live in this city, and I hope those others that live here are thankful as well. I'm also thankful for my bride of 42 years, Angela, to my right. I might still be a sack boy at the local Kroger store had I not met her working at Kroger when I was working there. But occasionally when I'm thinking about, I did get time and a half for overtime, and some of these long weeks I've got to thinking I might be ahead if I was getting a sack boy salary on some days. But I'm very thankful for her, and a great mom, a great Gigi, a great partner. I thank you for 2 awesome children who are here tonight with us, and grandchild number 4 is on the way. So that's awesome, and we are participating in our 10th political campaign. It makes me tired just to say it. 10th political campaign. Unbelievable. It's always tiring for the candidate, always exhausting, but I've come to find out for the spouses, it's probably more difficult. And sometimes for the children, it's more difficult. But so I thank her for staying with this, and let's make this other run at it. So thank you very much. Love you. Also, family and friends that were here tonight to help coordinate this, thank you very much, because it certainly wouldn't have happened without help of friends and family, and I thank you for that. I stand before you asking for 4 more years as your mayor, even though it is next year. Many would ask, why would a man who retired after almost 38 years at FedEx in leadership position, 25 years as Justice Court Judge, why in the world would you want a second term at this mayor job, especially in today's environment? Well, I can tell you the reason is not because of money. I'm not complaining. I've got a good salary. But trust me, Chairman Fred Smith could pay me a lot more as one of his directors than the city of Olive Branch can, and that's okay. I did that for a reason. It's not for power. If I want to keep power, I'd have kept that black robe. I always got my way in the courtroom. Always. Now, everybody got a little robe, but I always got my way in the courtroom. So it's not for power, because a lot of them are here tonight, but I had to get 4 out of 7 votes from the alderman to change a carpet in City Hall or to buy a box of paper clips. Takes 4 out of 7 votes. But that's okay, because that's the way good government's supposed to work, checks and balances. So that's how it's set up. So if it's not for that, not for power, not for money, why is it? It's for the love of the city and the love of the citizens that live here. I truly want the best for this city and the residents of this city, and I want to see some good things we've started hopefully come to fruition and move forward. I tell my department directors a lot of times, as long as you've got spark in your eye and the love for the people and you're doing a good job, stay. If you lose that, if you don't have the spark in your eyes and you don't care, and you're tired, it's probably time to go do something else. So we're in the people business, and we've got to have that spark and care if we're going to go forward. Also asking you to support me for another term, again, to get things done that we've started. Number 1, keep public safety the main priority. Keep the main thing the main thing. A little over 53% of our budget goes for public safety. Police, fire, and EMS, and that's what we should be doing, protecting our citizens and making them feel safe while they're out and about, safe in their homes, and I'm going to talk to you about that just a little bit more. Over the past 3 years, under my watch, we've added 1 major and 18 patrol officers to the police department, 10 firefighters and 12 EMS technicians to the fire department, 2 emergency dispatchers for public safety. We approved the purchase of a 100-foot ladder fire truck. Doesn't sound like a lot until you see that $1.7 million price tag. We also approved a pumper. The board worked with us. We approved that. Board approved it, and that's around $800,000 for a pumper truck. 2 ambulances, totals about $700,000 for those. 27 police vehicles were purchased in the last 3 years, and land was acquired, and we're getting ready to start building fire station number 6 and Highway 302 at Center Hill to better protect the residents of the city of Olive Branch and to keep our good fire rating and hopefully one day increase it even better. We fight crime and we provide public service every day. The men and women of these departments, police, fire, and EMS, do that every day. So we talk about that, so what's it look like? What our stats look like? So comparing this year, the first 6 months almost of this calendar year to last calendar year, here's where we stand. Commercial burglaries in Olive Branch down 81.25%. Residential burglaries down 31%. Auto burglaries down 55%. Robberies down 40%. Domestic violence down 33%. And homicides, how many of you hate to turn on the news in the morning at 6 o'clock and see a senseless murder happen over and over and over? Homicides, 0 last year, and none today this year. Not that it can't happen. Some could happen tonight, correct? It could happen. There's no Mayberry RFD like on Andy Griffith. It just doesn't exist anymore. We wish it did, but it simply doesn't exist, and crime can happen anywhere without a doubt. The last major homicide in this city was, unfortunately, domestic violence inside the 4 walls of somebody's house. You can't stop that unless you're living with people. You can't stop it. So we've been blessed, but I do think the men and women that work every day toeing the line, they help make our own luck by doing that, staying out and being visible and doing the things they need to do. Second is infrastructure improvements. We have 383 miles of roadways in the city of Olive Branch, and a little over 200,000 vehicles a day transit 38654. Over 200,000 vehicles a day. And I know when I'm running late, I'm behind every one of them as well, just like you are. A lot of cars, a lot of traffic. We're responsible for 240 miles of the roadways, and the state's responsible for the other. But drivers don't care. They want Olive Branch to get those roads fixed. Whether it's a state highway, that's what they want. That's what we try to do to the best of our ability. To give you an idea of what's happened in the last 3 years, construction costs, interest rates. 3 years ago, the estimated cost to widen 305 to 5 lanes from Church Road to 269, just shy of $250 million. That number today is almost $500 million. Cities do not have that money, counties don't have that money, so we will keep kibitzing state and federal to try to make that happen, because over 32,000 vehicles a day transit Highway 305 in certain areas, so we know it has to be approved. Major north and south artery between US 78 and 269. So we will keep working on that. I think we'll just keep showing up at DC, 10 cup in hand, and trying to get the money, and be just kind of like, I hate to say it, but maybe that pock mark, a little pimple on your face, it just won't, every time you think it goes away, they're back again. So that's what we're going to do to DC. Every time they think we're gone, we're going to pop right back in and say, we've got to fix Highway 305, we've got to fix 78 and Craft Road, terrible interchange, these totally reworked, we know that. We're asking for help with that, and we're pushing it the very best we can. We've got some very good roads in our city. We do. We got some that are just okay, and we got some that need some work. In the last 3 years, actually last 2 years, the board and I have approved and allocated $11.4 million for the largest roadway paving project and resurfacing project in the history of this 151-year-old city. A lot of money. I thought, man, that'll go everywhere. We can pave it all with that. One street that was about a half a mile, total depth reclamation, $750,000. It's very, very costly, even when you can get the workers to show up and do it. Now, we could fix them all. We could fix them in 1 year. It'd be north of 65 million, and our taxes would go up, and you don't want that, and I don't want that, so we're going to slowly chip into it. I don't think it's a one-time problem. I think it's perpetual, and I happened to find my grandfather's campaign card in 1968 in the big metropolis of Bruce, Mississippi, in Calhoun County, when he ran for mayor. And I looked on the back, and it said, I've lived here for 31 years, and I'm no stranger to the good people of Bruce. Well, I'm no stranger. I'm probably no stranger to some of the bad people as well. You got to have the good and bad people voting for you. Now, we all know that. Second, he said, I'm in favor of repairing the streets every year so we can get over them. They had some streets that wasn't passable in 1968. Third, I'm in favor of a clean and beautiful town. So they had litter and blight in Bruce, Mississippi in 1968. Things don't change. They come back around. And then, board, I know we got most of our aldermen here tonight, and I will cooperate in every way possible with the town board of aldermen. That's what he said. He didn't say every way, he said every way possible. But we have a great teamwork. So what I'm saying, that was 46 years ago. 46 years from now, there'll probably be somebody else standing in front of some other audience in Olive Branch saying, we're going to fix our streets, we're going to pace it out, we're going to have a multi-year program. That's what it takes. One harsh winter, and guess what? Now it's time to fix some more. I did find out the first year the most important street in Olive Branch is the one right in front of the house of the person I'm talking to, because they want their street fixed. And we are working to do that, but we're going from the highest volume streets traffic to the lower volume. That's just the way we need to do it. You know, it's the way we got to do it. We can't fix them all in 1 year. It's a process, and I just ask you to let us complete this multi-year program. Our infrastructure also includes our airport. We have the only airport in DeSoto County. We have the busiest airport in the state of Mississippi. 106,000 activities last year. A takeoff or a landing is an activity. And I do say if you take off, you want to land. You want to get an airport. But we've got the busiest airport in the state. We're not doing passenger jets, not doing wide bodies, but we're doing corporate jets, charter jets, 3 flight schools operating, training future pilots for the military and for cargo and passenger. Those flight schools are very busy. We justified and asked for and were awarded $12.4 million in airport contracts in the last 3 years. Repaved our 6,000-foot runway, our tarmac, our lights, hangars have been refurbished. That's important. We don't all fly out of there, but leaders of companies that may come here, they want a good airport for their corporate jet. They want to get in and out quick. So that's important that we do that. A lot of medical flights come in and out of Olive Branch Airport. Bringing organs to hospitals, military jets, military flights land, rather, not jets. Military flights land on a regular basis. Infrastructure also includes water and sewer development. We received $18.5 million in grants for wastewater or sewer and water development. That's huge. That's going to offset about 2/3 of our $32 million spend in the next couple of years that we're having to make for water and sewer. Now, why in the world would we do that? We've got a commitment to get water and sewer to all the unserved areas in this county, east side, down south. So we're going to do that. And why would you do that? Because where sewer goes, quality development follows. There are many areas, many counties, many cities that are not developing now with quality development because there's no sewer capacity. I get calls from Blue Oval, had calls from Blue Oval. There's not enough infrastructure in the city there to handle the homes that need to be built. So people are moving to Olive Branch and 269 to Mason, Tennessee, 45 minutes to Blue Oval because we've got the infrastructure. When we do these things, they're long term, but they'll ensure the stability of Olive Branch for the next 2 decades when we get these things done. Also, we continue to grow our natural gas company. We've got the largest municipal gas company in the state of Mississippi. We serve customers way outside of Olive Branch, into Marshall County, down toward Tate County, providing gas for homes to provide that service. Quality of life improvements, parks and recreation. Hopefully you're seeing some good things there. We're adding walking trails, 6 pickleball courts, some additional soccer fields to be added in the next year. Playground equipment is being added to Ivy Trails this month as we speak, Ivy Trails Community Park. Almost 2,000 residents completed our survey of what do you want to see your Parks and Rec program look like over the next few years. That's the information that we'll be using to decide what do we need to do. We want to listen to the citizens, see what they want, because if I like volleyball, guess what? I'm coming to the mayor saying I need more volleyball. If I'm a soccer person, I need more soccer fields. Basically, so we surveyed the masses to find out what we need to do, and then we've got a company that's helping us decide what's marketable, what will make people drive 4 hours in Olive Branch to go to a tournament, eat at our restaurants, et cetera, is what we're looking toward. Design work's been completed on our public works building beside the police departments where to be built so the men and women in public works can provide services for the 18,500 homes in the city of Olive Branch now. It's a lot of homes. A lot of homes. So we need a facility that they can work out of. And lastly, under quality of improvements, land's been acquired and we're getting ready to accept bids for a new animal shelter. Those of you close to the shelter know we've got a legacy shelter that needs to be replaced, and the board and I are in the process of doing that. Under governance, as I committed to you, we're streaming our planning commission and our board of Alderman meetings live And also they're available for playback on YouTube. A lot of people don't want to go to the meetings. They don't want to sit for an hour or 2 or 3 on hard pews. I get it. But you can watch it on YouTube, stay current, and decide, is there something next month I need to come back and be a part of. Our citizen committee meetings are wonderful. Campaigned on that. We've got a great group of citizens. Here's what they involve. Different meetings with senior citizens, HOAs, subdivisions. We have a Parks and Recs committee, a pastoral advisory committee, industrial roundtable of all the large employers in the city, and a city beautification committee to deal with litter and blight. They have a seat at the table and they tell us what we need to be doing instead of us trying to tell them what we should do for them, because that doesn't work. We need to hear the citizens and see what they want us to do in order to be effective. We upgraded our planning processes for higher visibility, ended up with people who are involved in the process, planning process, applications. Teamwork's been great between the Board of Aldermen and myself. It absolutely has. We've got a great board of aldermen. And if y'all would stand, I know we have almost everybody here tonight. If the board members would stand briefly, y'all are absolutely more than a part of this. Y'all are essential. I encourage you to talk to them and find out their vision for the city going forward. But we take a business approach. We don't have infighting. We might disagree, but we move along, and I encourage you to talk to them as well to see things they have. Social media, good or bad, I don't think you'll find a city of 50,000 anywhere, Mississippi or beyond, that communicates as much as we do. We pulse out information every day, several topics, videos, information. So we're trying to keep people updated, and that's been a very positive thing for us. Wrapping up, we live fiscally conservative. The city lives within our budget. We have the lowest municipal tax rate of all 5 cities in this county. All 5. Little Walls, Love Walls, Hernando, Horn Lake, South Haven. Olive Branch is the lowest, considerably lower than all those other cities. We haven't had a tax increase in 9 years. So we forego some things that we might want, a splash pad here or there. We might forego some things because we don't like raising taxes. We like living within our means. We submitted quality grants and received $23.2 million worth of grant money in the last 3 years, meaning that's money that tax dollars don't have to be spent for. We can do some things and get some things done and not have to use tax dollars for that $23.2 million. In closing, I ask you to let me serve another 4 years. I know I'm a few months early. I want to keep up this positive trend and move it forward. Yes, there'll be some setbacks. I occasionally say our streets are, some of y'all have heard me say it, kind of like you hate to, somebody tell you got an ugly baby, but sometimes you have an ugly baby. You don't want to have it, but you do. And you got to nurture it, love it. And both my kids are here tonight, so I'm not going to give either one of them up, but I have one that I want to work with, and she would look at it, love it, dress it good, and then she'd say, you look just like your daddy, is what she would tell me. We've got to keep the process going. It's a big place. You can't do it overnight. And I just encourage you to keep business leadership and business acumen. As large as our city is, we've got to have it, and I commit to you that to use my background, my Christian principles and beliefs, my tireless work ethic, and to keep this city top tier, to be one of the best cities to live, work, worship, and play in. So thank you very much for being here tonight. I certainly appreciate it. And David, if you've got door prizes or auction items, come forward. But thank you again so much. I know you got a lot of things you could be doing on Thursday night, so thank you very much.
Awesome.